I woke up one day and just fired all my staff. The people I was hiring, what I was dealing with, I was like, I'm so over this. Like, this is miserable. I tried to get rid of it. I was like, I'm good. I'm going to be associate forever. Nobody would take it. And it's almost like God was like denying it at a coach. He was like, it's your people. If you get good people, it makes such a difference. So I think creating that office culture where, we have a slogan. It is a positive, peaceful work environment. I'm in the middle of Dallas. How am I going to differentiate myself? Like, you need to get on TikTok. You need to make sure your AI is on point. You need to make sure that you're coming up on ChatGPT.
Okay, Dr. Ezzy, welcome to the podcast.
I still can't believe this because I feel like we were back in dental school.
Girl,
baby.
Literally. We go so far back.
Yeah.
Can I just say this? There are like a couple of dental mentors that I have in my own head, and you are one of them. No, I'm serious. Being in dental school and just seeing you kill it and do the dang thing. And you took the time to really pour into because there's only a few of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And us.
And by us,
if you know, you know.
It was at least maybe 4 per class, if that.
Yeah, I think there's a max quota.
Exactly. And then you talk about the people who actually made it.
The quota goes down.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so the way that you were so intentional about pouring into us, I will truly never forget. I still have the picture from the day, and I'll put it in.
No, please don't.
No, but you were cute that day.
Okay, pending approval.
You gathered all of the Black dental female students, and we all went to, I think, was it Cheesecake Factory or something like that?
Oh, yay.
Yes. And y'all really just gave us game and really spoke life into us. It was right before you guys graduated. So I have always cherished that. Plus, and I'll tell you this, I've actually shared this on TikTok.
Yeah.
When I was in the basement studying.
The basement is a real thing. That's people what do you mean the basement? We're not talking about the mud. It was
actual base, several, a bunker almost. And we were in there studying till 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. I would literally, during my little Instagram breaks, I would go through your Instagram because you were you're talking club, jet, another club, private plane. This girl was jet setting, and it gave me so much life because I just kept thinking, okay, that's what I'm going to do when I graduate. Literally, you were such an inspiration. And so just to watch how you have transitioned and now you own your own practice, which I can't even wait to talk about. But, the reason that I specifically wanted to do this episode is because I had people reach out to me, people who came after me saying hey, can you talk about being a Black female dentist? And I was like, who better than my mentor in my head?
You're gonna make me blush.
No, but you need to. You need to hear this. So I'm so thankful, so thankful that you said yes.
No,
I showed up.
So grateful for you. I'm so thankful for our friendship. Yes. I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful for this platform.
Yes.
God has really just been good to all of us. Oh, and, at the end of the day, if God gives you a gift, you're not sharing it, you're a thief. Okay.
Yes.
You're a thief. You're the number one criminal.
No.
No, literally, that's the whole point. Yeah. I had so many people pour into me as I was growing up and doing certain things. So I felt I was just always happy to help because us helping each other, especially in sisterhood and dentistry, all those things. If it's not us, then who's going to do it?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into everything, I have one question for you.
Okay.
Dr. Ezzy.
You don't have to do that.
No, but I'm going to because people need to put some respect on your title. You worked hard for it. So I'm going to do that.
Okay, bye.
Anyway, so Dr. Ezzy, are you ready to share your wealth and nurture your wellness?
Yes, of course. Amen.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Okay. So before we get started, I always like for my guests to kind of give us an insight to their journals.
Okay.
And I have a couple of prompts. So whatever comes to your mind, feel free to respond.
Okay.
The first one is, what is an affirmation or a scripture or a quote that has been resonating with you lately?
Don't let life happen to you.
Ooh, okay. Elaborate, please.
I think in this life, I feel like of course, there's always certain circumstances, but in general, you kind of have the choice to choose your happiness, to choose your peace, to really seek the things that you're trying to do, whatever goal that you have. Don't just sit back and let life happen to you and be, okay, well, this is what I'm dealt with. Really try to maximize life and whatever life has to offer. I want that.
Yes.
I want the best things that this life has to offer. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to be in a situation where it's okay, that's not meant for you. No, whatever I want to accomplish, I don't want to just sit back and okay, maybe it'll happen. No, I want to go after it. I want to do what I need to do.
And reach the full potential.
Oh, I love that.
So,
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. What is something that you are looking forward to this week?
I would say 4th of July, just getting together with family.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Just hanging out?
Yeah, I think just hang out. I'm trying to think. I'm just excited to do nothing.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm just excited to like turn my brain off.
Okay.
So I'm excited. And then, Ghana's playing the World Cup. So that should be fun on Friday.
That's so true. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yo, when we came in, she was on that phone talking to, was it your marketing person? Businesswoman. So I mean, I hear that. Just shutting it off and just spending time with family. That's so important.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you leaving behind this week? Like a mindset, a thought, a situation?
You can't control everything.
Yeah.
I've actually been working on that a lot. Not even this week, just in general. It is what it is. You can't control everything. And sometimes it's actually good not to.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's actually good to sit down.
Yep.
My staff tells me that a lot. They're like, you need to just keep sit down.
What did they say? It's like God is the strongest in our weakness. That he can show himself if we just sit down.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
They're like, you need to. I'm like, you know what? Let me go stay in my lane. I just go back to my office and like lock the door.
No, sometimes you got to do that.
Sometimes it's needed. Yeah. You know? Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. So for the people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got there.
Okay. Well, I'm a Nigerian woman living in Dallas.
Are you from Imo State?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm from Imo State.
My sister.
Yes.
Hey. There we go.
So, let's see. I grew up in Dallas. You know, obviously I'm a dentist. I ran track in college at University of Illinois. And then I went to UT San Antonio for dental school. I've come from a big family. So, you know, we didn't grow up with much. I always tell people this story. Like, people always look at me now and they're like, oh, I know you. No.
Yeah.
No. Like, I come from very, very humble beginnings. I remember going to Goodwill. I would go with my mom to garage sales and like try to piece outfits together, little hat.
Wow.
Like, I wish I could show you a picture. Like, I was very fashionable at a young age. Like, I made it.
Believe it.
Yes. Anyway, so I come from a big family. Like, my parents just always talked about like academic, you know, the typical Nigerian story. Like, I don't even need to go into all that. But yeah, and my parents thought I was going to go to med school. And it's kind of funny because I looked up what requirements are, what you need to go to med school. And I kind of saw my sister going through med school and I was like, wait a minute, this is long. Maybe I need to I knew I always wanted to take care of people. I always have a passion for healthcare. And I was like, you know what? Let me explore other avenues. And I remember going to shadow this dentist. I remember showing up the first day and I was like, okay. They're like, oh, he's not here. He's out of the office. I said, okay, no problem. I'll just help whoever's here. And then the next week I was like, okay, I've arrived. Oh, he's still not here. He's out. Then I was like, okay. Then the next week he was still gone. And I was like, this man's always gone. And they're like, sorry, he's always traveling. Sorry, you can shadow such and such. I said, you know what? If this man is always gone and he seems so happy, he was always so chipper. He got to talk to people all day. He really transformed smiles. There was so much like positivity in the workplace and his personality and just how he balanced life. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is for me. And I love the artistic side of dentistry too. And like just the effect that you can have on people. And like teeth are, you know, a pretty sensitive thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, they are.
So that's how I kind of got into dentistry and it kind of went into a different avenue. You know, even with track was solely just to pay for school. I did not like running track. I feel like I don't tell people that often because they're like, you loved it. I hated it. I ran 400 hurdles. That was like the worst event.
Were your parents supportive of you doing sports?
No, they were not supportive until the offer letters came. They were like, this is such a waste. My coach was like, no, she's really good. She's really good. You should let her do it. Just trust me. Because I would be out there for hours. I would have my regular high school practice and that would end at 6:00. And then I would do my private coaching sessions, which I didn't pay for the private coaching. I had people who literally were like, they just believed in me and were like, hey, let's stay after and do hurdle drills. So that's why I'm such an advocate. Of, if you can help somebody, you better help somebody. And it doesn't have to be about reciprocation of what you're getting. You should actually just help. So I've always been big on helping others because if they did not do that, I would definitely not be where I'm at. So, yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, the people who really got you to where you are.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about Black women.
Yeah.
It's already hard. I mean, what are the stats? I think they say 3% of dentists are Black, and that's male and female.
Yeah.
And then now you're talking about Black females.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's like 1.5, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
And it's such a small stat, but it's interesting because low key, you start to know them.
Yeah.
Like even on social media, I have some like mutuals that we've never met.
Yeah.
But you just know each other because we all have similar struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's so many times I'll DM and be like, hey, like, can we be friends?
No, literally. Like, literally.
You're Black. I'm a dentist. I'm Black. Like, we should be friends.
Okay, we got the same struggles.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about today.
I have a lot of TikTok friends. I love that. Like, so many I got to, like, connect with. And it's so nice.
That's the beauty of social media in of itself. But that's also what happens when you put yourself out there, which is what I try to tell my audience. You got to put yourself out there. You got to tell people what you need. Yeah. And then that's how people are able to show up for you. Yeah. So that's really good. Okay, what do you love about the type of work that you do? What do you love about being a dentist?
I love that it's not the same thing every day. Yeah. Yeah. I am not a technology person. You can ask my team, like, if there's something wrong with the computer, you better call the IT team. Okay, you better call them. They know not even to look my way. Yeah. So if I were in like a field of tech, like I would not survive because I'm just like a grandma when it comes to like so many things. So I love the fact that it's not too tech heavy and I get to talk to people and honestly like the healing part, like getting to help. Oh, I love that. And honestly, like, talking to people every day. I know it for a lot of people, like it's overstimulating or it's exhausting, but I don't mind it. And I feel like it makes my day go by like
faster. Yeah. What part of your childhood or past experience shaped what you do today? I think you kind of touched on this, but did you always know? I know you said you wanted to go into healthcare. How old or around what time were you when you went and shadowed that guy and was like, okay, I want to do this?
I would say I was like 18, 19.
18. Okay. Yeah, so you went into college knowing that was a track. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yes. So I went into college knowing that was what I wanted to do. I would say childhood shaping my choice of becoming a dentist or just who I am in general?
Both. What do you feel like is most impactful? Because I feel like, granted, you being a Nigerian, you were going to be, you're almost like forced to succeed. There's just, we love our parents.
Yeah.
But the pressure
is real. Yeah. The pressure is real. I would say, I feel like I didn't grow up with like a lot of choices. I feel like my upbringing helped me have my hustle. Yes. And my drive and like my work ethic. I used to be like so in a negative space as a kid, like knowing a little bit of the lack. Yeah. But now I'm so thankful because it makes you just appreciate so much. Like I appreciate life so much. Yeah. And not having gave me like that hustle that I feel like you really, really need to survive. Especially as a woman in business, you have to have this like grit, this resilience, this like level of perseverance. And I think my childhood, like I'm so thankful for my parents. Like they really gave me that. They never handed me anything. Like when I never had a birthday party. That's why now I do my birthdays big. People don't understand. Like I did not have no birthday party ever. And it's okay. I'm okay with that.
Chuck E. Cheese?
No, I don't have any recollection of any of that.
Some Chuck E. Cheese or McDonald's. McDonald's used to have like a birthday.
Yes, I think we did McDonald's and we would like get a bucket of fries and share amongst the six of us.
6, right?
6.
Golly. And you're the middle.
Yeah, I'm number 4. So I feel like my childhood for sure. I have such an appreciation and like just not having choices. Like you have to do what you have to do. Yeah. Like when I wanted a car, my parents were like, I was like, I need a car to get to price. Like, you got to go figure out how you're going to pay for that. I worked at Subway. I was a sandwich artist.
You worked at Subway?
Yes. I was a sandwich artist.
And then, is that what they call them?
Yes. And I moved up the ranks and I became assistant manager. Period. And I was like 17. I don't know why they gave a child a key to the store.
Okay, but you did that.
I did. Yes.
And you did that and still managed to go to a good school. Yeah. Because you have to have those grades. Yeah. At the end of the day.
At the
end of the day, the car will be gone. Even if you once I bought it, everything will be gone. If them grades are not where they need to be,
it's not happening.
It's not happening.
So my parents were like, I was like, I need a car. And they're like, we'll go half with you. But I don't think they took me serious. Yeah. So they were like, we'll go half with you. And I was like, okay, bet. A year and a half or 2 years later, I literally saved $6,000. Mind you, I think I was making like $6.75 or like it was not $7.25 at that point. It was like $6 and something cents. I remember vividly. And so I remember just saving. And I went to my mom and said, hey mom, I have $6,000. You said you were going to match it. So let's go ahead. My budget is $12,000 for a car. And I remember exactly what I wanted. I wanted like a Honda Civic. I knew exactly what I wanted. And they were like, where did you get all this money from? I was like, well, you told me. They're like, we didn't think you were
of course.
Yes. So I was like, yeah. Cut me the check and let's go to the dealership. Or at that point, I think it was a car auction. So my mom always said from that moment on, she was like, you just be working. If you say you want to do something, you just do it. And I was like, yeah, I guess they thought I was going to like blow it on makeup and clothes. Yeah. But I'm like, no, I need that car. I'm tired of walking.
And I feel like Nigerian parents will say a lot of things and then they'll backtrack and be like, what? Did we say that?
Yay.
My parents used to always be like, my dad, is your life. If you like, you can mess it up. That's your life. And that scared me so much because they're not going to give me.
They're
and then
not.
if I say it now, they'll be like, you didn't say that. And I'm like, no, you said
did.
that.
And whole time they put the fear in you, but they actually are always going to be there. And that's the crazy part. They cap so hard. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Now that I'm older, I'm like, you were never going to let me fall. But I think you have to have that fear. So we need to take notes. So when we have kids, you know, I'm not telling them they have a college. You don't have no college fund. You don't have anything. I don't know what you're going to do.
Exactly. And if my future kids are listening, you're not. Because any fund, you're not going to know about it until the time comes for it to be paid.
Exactly.
So,
you know, and by the time they go to school will be like $70K a year.
Oh my goodness. I know that you had a series on Instagram where you talked about when you were building your office. Can you talk about a pivotal moment or kind of like a rock bottom moment or just a time where you were really struggling and then how you came out of that? Like, what's your testimony when it comes to where you're at now?
Oh my gosh. That's loaded. We'll be here all day. I'll keep it short. But honestly, that experience gave me my first gray hair. I sleep 8 hours a day. Like, I don't play about my sleep or my health. I'm a very balanced person and I like peace. Like, even in dental school, I never stayed up past like midnight or 1 o'clock.
Really?
No.
How?
Because I would just go after school and immediately start studying.
Yeah.
I'm not a night person.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, during that month, I did not sleep. I got my first gray hair. I was not eating. I was beyond stressed. And I never want to do it again. As far as like who I chose, that situation just showed my strength because people really will try to play you and play in your face, especially as a woman, let alone a Black woman. But you, like I said, the grit that you need, the intelligence, they really tried me. And I'm not going to even say, to this day, I've never mentioned who built
who it was. And to give some context, you bought your practice from someone who had multiple offices, correct?
Yes.
And it was during COVID time and they were kind of like, you should buy this. And this was when you're doing your, you know, hot girl dentist era. You were bopping up and down the place. I loved it. They were like, hey, I think you should do this. And then they finally kind of convinced you to go and open. So you bought it from them. They weren't working in the office.
And it was closed down. It died. So they were trying to consolidate and kind of get everything together because that office had failed.
Wow.
And so it was like pretty much completely closed down. And then I bought like the space.
This is a random question, but were you able to like get like a nice little discount since it...
Yes.
Because that's also a little...
It's a cheat code.
It's a little cheat code is that you find somewhere that has the potential that maybe did well, but then dipped. So that way you can buy it cheap and then bring it back up again. Because it has the infrastructure.
You know, I look at my office like a fixer-upper.
Yes.
Like with Chip and Joanna stuff. Like, it was literally a fixer-upper. It was dead. The location was good. The basement was good. Everything, the bones were good. So I always tell people, it is kind of a cheat code. If you could find a skeleton office, like let's say you're trying to build out an office or start your dental practice, you don't have to start from scratch. Sometimes just evaluate the area you're looking at. And there's a lot of corporations and private equity that are consolidating, especially during this time. Things are so expensive and crazy now. There's a lot of private equity offices that are closing down. It's just a shell. So the plumbing's there, which you know is the most expensive part. The equipment may not be there, but you have the plumbing and the build out and the ops. So all you have to do is like really do a cosmetic facelift, get your equipment in, and it'll save you at least like off the top. That's $200K that you just saved.
Is there any patient population at all, or it was nothing?
Nothing. So I worked in it for like a year or two to get money up to fix it. So I was working there in this era. You know, you're like you were beat bopping, and my traveling came to a halt for about like quite some time because I used to travel every month, and I love traveling. It's like my vibe. And I used to travel every month, but then it stopped. It came to a crashing halt because I realized I'm like, okay, I have to grow this practice, but I still need to associate somewhere. So I was working at my practice about 3 days a week. And then I was doing another 3 days a week associating somewhere else. So I did that for about a year, which was really hard. So I was working 6, 7, sometimes 7 days a week, which I learned my lesson so quick because you don't want to work on the Lord's Day. That's crazy.
No. And dentistry, I don't think people recognize how physically taxing it is.
It was, it got to a point where I kind of got sick. So I had to like actually take a step back.
Oh, wow.
Like it was really affecting my health. Working 6 days a week.
Also thinking about, you took out a practice loan.
At that time, no.
Hold on. What? How did you purchase the office?
I used my entire money. I used my own money. I know. You're not supposed to do that. I know. I used my own money.
No wonder you're stressed.
Yeah, I don't think. You know, I just like, you know, and the price I got for it, like it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't anything like a
Can you
mortgage.
share? We can edit it out if you don't want to say it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind. I paid initially, it was like 70,000.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Yeah. For a whole dental practice?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it was 6 ops.
What?
Yeah. But you would be surprised.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of offices like that because people are trying to get out of their lease.
Yeah, that's true.
The lease is
That's
expensive.
true.
So it's like, please take this off my hands.
This off my hands. Yeah.
But he was generous to me.
Yeah.
Like, he really was.
Were you able to lock in the lease?
Mm-hmm. We just transferred the lease to my LLC.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And I'm upstairs, so I got such a good rate.
Oh, good. Good.
Such a good rate. Like, I cannot. So I extended it for 15. I'm in that place for 15 years.
But 15 years at that rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or can they increase it?
3% increase.
Okay.
3%. It's like 2 to 3% increase every year. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's amazing. Because most of the time when you're graduating and if you use student loans, it's so many things you're having to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be able to have that cash to be able to pay for that and then at such a low price, it kind of makes sense why you didn't finance
it for a little bit.
Okay, that's
I lived
another
at
cheat
home.
code.
People don't know that I lived at home for a little bit, especially get my feet. Yeah. So I lived at home for a little bit during the time of the build out. I tried to sell the practice. People don't know that.
While you were building it out?
No, before I built it out, I tried to get rid of it. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna be associate forever.
Wow.
Because the people I was hiring, what I was dealing with, I was like, I'm so over this. Like, this is miserable. Like, I'm good. Like, to the point where I woke up one day and just fired all my staff. Wow. And I stopped.
And you talked about the fact that like you had staff who would just like
eat McDonald's
in the front, which I've had that too.
There was ketchup on the keyboard.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I was actually disgusted.
And it's just like, come on, y'all. That's nasty.
It's nasty. Yeah. And then it's like deliberately missing calls. Like, so I had an old phone program that I upgraded it, and they didn't know that I get an email every time we have a missed call. So,
cool.
Yeah, which by the way, if you have practice, get that. But I get a notification for every missed call. And there was one day, there were a whole bunch of missed calls. I'm like, what is going on? So I pull up and he's ignoring calls, eating McDonald's. And then I think like a week later, like my staff, they were just so careless. Yeah. And they left on the vacuum machines on the back. So it flooded the whole office. So at that point, this all happened within like a span of a week. And I was like, you know what? I'm putting the office up for sale. I fired everybody and I had people come in to visit and I was selling it for like under 100K. Wow. Like, I was like, just take it. Just take it. I mean? And nobody would take it. Wow. Nobody. Like, I was like, please, like, somebody just take this office from me. Like, what's going on? And it's almost like God was like denying it. Yeah. Like, he was like, no. Like, this stuff just wouldn't go through. And I'm like, what? And sometimes I would get almost there and I'm like, what is going on? So I couldn't sell it. So I was like, you know what? Let me try at this thing full force. Let's reconvene some things. Let me hire new people. I had a coach who was like, it's your people. If you get good people, it makes such a difference. Yeah. I was like, okay, let me get some new people in here.
You got a coach?
Yes. I have a coach who actually passed away this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's really sad. And he's the one like taught me about work-life balance.
Wow. He was another dentist?
And his office was doing about $2 million a year, and he worked 3 days a week.
Is he the only person? He was the only person. Like, he didn't have associates.
I think he had one associate. Okay, I think he did.
I mean, that's the dream right there. Is to be able to kind of scale it so that you don't have to do all the work.
Exactly. And I was like, you know what? Like, that kind of emulates where like that's a goal. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Teach me how you did all this. And
were you paying him? And that's a big thing. That's something I kind of want us to put a pin on of you have to invest in where you want to be. Yeah. There are free resources, obviously, like following people on social media, listening to things like podcasts. But at the end of the day, you actually have to invest to really scale whatever it is you're doing. So I love that you touched on actually hiring a coach.
Yeah. And he was not a typical coach. Like, he was not someone who was charging $5K a month. Yeah. Because there's coaches out there, which I feel like most dentists should stay away from, charging $5K, $4K, like, or consultants, whatever you want to call it. Like, there are people out here who coach and they do it genuinely, but like, I just feel like they're the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars is such a money pit. Yeah. Especially when you're trying to get started. Yes. So that 5,000 can literally go towards marketing or something else or different things. But like, you have people out here who are really charging. So he was charging like $700 a month.
What? Really?
He was amazing. Like, he genuinely did it because he genuinely like cared about people and wanted people to do well.
How did you find him?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook more than any other, like.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's business wise. Like, I'm in so many groups.
That's a good tip. Make sure y'all writing that down.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip.
People are like, oh my God, I saw you on TikTok. I saw you that TikTok is ran by somebody else.
Is she accepting clients? Yeah. That's a good job.
Like I log in here and there, but like I try to minimize distractions.
Yes.
I probably only post maybe on vacation or if I'm doing like something, but day to day, no. Like I don't even have I try to keep the
time.
No, you have to maximize your day.
Yes. Sometimes when I see these like dental and dental influencers are like not even dental influencers, but people who are in their office and they're making a lot of TikToks, but it's like not really educational. It's kind of just like trendy TikToks. I'm like, how do you have the time? Because you're so busy. Your TikToks are so nice. I love them. I like them every single time I see it because it's so educational and it shows the beauty of your practice. And it makes someone want to go where you're at.
I try. I try to do it on my own. But editing a video takes like 3 hours.
It takes forever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So my mentor was like, strategizing for like my office. And I'm in the middle of Dallas, like prime Dallas near the gallery. And I was like, okay, 1 mile radius, there's like 5 dentists. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to differentiate myself? Like, and I was so intimidated because I was like, there's no way, like, I'm just a girl. How am I going to, like, some of these offices have been open for 25 years, 15 years. Like, how am I going to compete? Which is imposter syndrome because at the end of the day, we definitely deserve a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
He was like, you need to get on TikTok. You need to make sure your AI is on point. You need to make sure that you're coming up on ChatGPT. You need to make sure he's the one that was like, pick up that camera and do TikTok. TikTok isn't it. And this was like 2 or 3 years ago. He's like, that's the next big thing. You have to be on it.
Wow.
So he's the one that taught me that. So I was doing it a little bit on my own. And then I hired someone to do it for me. So she comes and she films and we like do it together and we collab. And like, I didn't want to be like a dancing dentist. Yeah. I didn't want to be, it was just not a bad thing. I'm a very private person. Yes. So it's already so hard for me to be on social media. So I was like, okay, the point of this is to like, just for people to see, like, if your teeth look like this is what's going on. And like, I really wanted to be educational, but just also like, not inspiring to a sense and like just showing people like what it means to like be a dentist and a young entrepreneur trying to like do something. So
I've gone through your comments and I see the impact. I just think to myself, when we were applying, not to like age us, but there was no TikTok. I think there was one random girl, she's not random, but there was one girl who recorded her life at, I can't remember what school she was going to, on YouTube. And it was very just like back in the day, kind of like basic. There were no, especially Black female dentists who were really like showcasing the lifestyle, because I think a lot of people go into dentistry have a similar story of the lifestyle too. We know we wanted to help people. We don't want to go into healthcare. But we also don't want to be on call.
I want to be a mom. I want to be a mom. I want to be, and I know my parents did their best to be like present. They did their best. Our parents gave us so much tools to be successful and to not let life happen to us. So it's like, okay, how do I want my life to look? And I want to be there for my kids. I want to do pickups. I want to do drop-offs. So touching on what you were saying, it's like dentistry does allow that.
If you do it right and but you do have to put in the legwork in the beginning. That, I mean, you can't get around it.
No.
And that's something that we also talked about is that, in order to really have leverage, and kind of have the life that you're wanting and make the money that you want to in dentistry, you gotta own. You gotta own.
That's the key to America, actually.
Okay.
It's ownership. That's actually that. I didn't realize it until it took me 30-something years. It's the key to America is ownership, having something that you own that generates revenue and,
It gives you leverage when you are then trying to do other things in the business and financial world. It gives you leverage to have capital. I know people don't like to hear about the business side of dentistry, but my heart with this specific episode is for the dentist who is wanting to create generational wealth for themselves because it is possible. You're doing a very hard job that you spent a lot of money and time and dedication, and you're held to such a high standard. You should be compensated for that. But the way to do that really is to become an owner. And then when you're an owner, it's to steward your business well. Because if you're spending crazy amounts of money, on, like you said, like consultants who are charging out the wazoo, you're not going to have a profitable business. And then you can't, give financial incentives to your employees or be able to help your patients like you talk about, where you're able to kind of like help them out in terms of, oh, I can't afford this. Okay, well, let me see what I can do for you.
You have to. So it's like, what do you got? Okay, tell me what you got. Let me see what I can do. But to touch on the ownership thing that you were talking about, I feel like it's almost even more critical for women.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So ownership, and you said stewarding your business and starting off well. I think the key to ownership in dentistry is starting out not in a money pit.
Yes.
Watching your debt load, watching the dental tax.
Yep.
Watching where's my money going to, being in the know.
Yep.
Just because you don't know how to start a business doesn't mean there's so much information between chat, Claude, podcast. That's how I listen to so many podcasts. That's how I was really able to start my business with such a low overhead. And the key to business is a low overhead.
Yes.
Like you can do anything else. If your overhead is at 70%, you could have a $1 million practice and your overhead is 80% versus someone who has a $500,000 practice and their overhead is 40%.
Yep.
Who's taking home more money? Not the $1 million.
It ends up being that every day you're open, you're losing money.
You're losing money.
Yeah.
And you see it all the time, overheads in like the 70s and 80%. And if you can help it, of course. But for the most part, it's like starting your business off where, bank will give you $1 million to start your office.
They love to give dentists loans.
They see they don't even need like the tax history. Just go ahead and show them that degree and they're like, here's $1 million. Yeah, no, and that's so dangerous because then you're like, you know what, I want this new, I want this, I want that. But at the end of the day, like I was telling people, like everything in my practice is refurbished. My chairs, I remember I went to Arizona to go pick up my chairs. Yeah. That's why I'm on Facebook all the time because I'm always looking for like equipment or different things.
You drove to Arizona to go pick up chairs?
I went to Arizona to go look at some chairs and see if I wanted them. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, because there was an old dental assisting school that closed down and they had a bunch of ADEC chairs. And ADEC, ADEC chairs about 20, 25 a pop. They're like, we just trying to get rid of them. Look at I got them for $5,000 each.
Wow.
And they're the ones that we had in dental school. And dental school always has.
Oh, yes.
And so I got them for $5,000. Wow. I was so foolish at the time because I was trying to be so stingy. And I was like, I should have just got like 7 of them. But I was like, let me stick to my budget.
Yeah.
But those chairs, I could have easily resold for $20,000 each, $15,000 each.
That's the Evo in you.
Because I'm always finding deals. That's why why are you always on Facebook? Because I'm always looking for like different things. That's how I find my stuff. I'm in so many different Facebook groups that poured knowledge into me of understanding, okay, this is how you need to open a practice. There's a group on Facebook. It's with, I think, D'Angelo Webster called Practice Biopsy.
Okay.
I swear by that.
Write that down.
That is the best. If you are opening a practice, you need to be a part of that group. You need to make sure you contact D'Angelo. And there was another doctor named Dr. Nagy, but he passed away. And they're the ones that really were like, hey, if you're opening a practice, you don't have to use a dental contractor. If you want to, you can. There's no wrong way to like skin a cat, or whatever that saying is. But they were like, be careful of the dental tax. Like, be careful where you get your products. Like, you don't have to buy a brand new chair.
And that dental tax is basically, it's kind of like wedding tax. Like, the moment you say, it's for a dental office, boom, $5,000.
Yeah.
Boom, $10,000.
Absolutely. Like, I remember I had because I used who did I use? Corey. I used Corey Davey from Curate Studios. Best in the game. Best designer. Like, if you want an office that does not look like everybody else's, cookie cutter, Corey is your man. So I remember going to Corey and he drew up my office plans because we were basically gutting out the office. Mind you, we flipped the office in 4 weeks.
What?
Yes.
4 weeks?
We were working day and night. Night. No, I'm kidding. But Corey gave me the schematics for it. And I remember he like referred me to a few people and like through the Facebook groups, I found a couple dental contractors and I sent them that contract. And I also sent it to some general because I have a lot of like Nigerian friends that are in like construction and home building and different things. And so I sent to some dental people and I sent to some contacts that my friends had given me. The stark difference, like I got one quote, I think it was almost $400,000 to
for come again
to $400,000. And then I went to like 3 different like just regular general contractors and they were all at 100, if not 90, 80K.
Wow.
Literally like 150 was the max.
And you said your mentor is the person who was telling you all this, or was this just from, mentorship, the Facebook groups, like were you recognizing these things before you were even going in, or were you kind of learning as you?
I was learning.
Yeah.
I was learning in the Facebook group. I just read like people, another man's problem could be your knowledge.
Yeah.
That was so African.
That's so true. We do love a proverb. We do love a proverb that you have to think about.
That's what my dad would say. So like watching, and not even, I hate to say that, but like watching other people like make mistakes.
Yes.
Or listening to other people's experiences, good and bad, is how you gain wisdom. You know what I mean? You don't know what you don't know till you don't know.
Yep.
And the worst thing in business, I think, is to not be a sponge and not be coachable, not be malleable. If you go into it with the attitude that you know it all, good luck.
Good luck.
You know, you can learn something from anybody. So those Facebook groups, I was literally like a sponge for like 3 to 4 years, just taking in, okay, do this, don't do this, use this software, use this vendor, use this, like, you know, in different things. So I would say the Facebook groups, podcasts, and different things, like they kind of taught me like, hey, like it is more headache dealing with a general contractor.
Yeah.
But I think the one contractor or the two contractors that I made sure were dental related was my like designer and my plumber.
Okay. Because those ones were probably like the more intricate, like you need to know what's going on.
You want someone, especially with your plumbing, especially because if, let's say, like I'm on second floor, but if you're on first floor, like obviously you dig up the concrete, you do the piping underneath the ground, then you pour before you pour that concrete, you really want to make sure all those lines are running.
Oh my gosh.
And running smoothly and clearly. So plumbing, I think, is something you don't want to mess with, but drywall is drywall. You know what I mean? I think as long as you have the correct schematics and someone who really knows how to design your office and show you, and you have to be more hands-on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there is more of a headache, but the cost differential to me, and there's no wrong way. For some people, they're like, I just want to show up and everything's done. But for me, like, I'm Nigerian, I don't like loans.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can save a buck or two, you know, we're Igbo girls. Like, we like to spend smartly.
You know what's so funny is I feel like before I became an owner, I would use things. Thanks, girl. Thanks.
You just do it all.
I'm trying. But I actually remember this in dental school. There was like a professor and what did he say to me? He said, you are extremely inefficient and wasteful. That's literally what he's, no, let me tell you something. UT San Antonio.
Oh, my, it's on a military base. You know, you don't know that.
It is. And you know what? We're not going to go too deep because we've moved on. Sort of. The trauma is still there, but
UT who?
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for real. We're grateful for all the experience and for the knowledge, but not for everything else. Because, man, they would just talk to you any type of way. But I remember he said that to me because I had like a pile of gloves that I would just put one on, take it off, put one on, take it off. It was in school. And I was like, I'm paying for this. Until when you start looking at the line items and you're just like, how much on lab and supply? And then you realize it's more than just being cheap. It's about stewarding your business well.
Yes.
You have to steward your business well and recognize what do things cost. Because when you see all those headlines of these companies who are laying off so many people, it's because there is not an understanding of what the finances are. Yeah. You know, because it's like you can't afford to pay people.
Employment is also like the biggest overhead. So if you're really trying to make a dent in your P&L,
you just fire people. But how else are you going to grow if you don't have the staff to do it? So it's like you really have to be managing your money where you can. Were you always aware of the finances before you became an owner, like about like what things cost and like?
I'm gonna say I budget. If you know my friends who know me, listen, I don't play about a budget.
And travel so much, and you're so fabulous. So I think people assume.
They assume, but I know, when I tell you I know my money and where it's going, I am a cheap person.
Yeah.
I had the same, I just got a new laptop from dental school and I finished dental school almost 8 years ago.
I did too.
I wear the same workout shoes. Like my workout shoes, I wear the same workout shoes to work. They will have a hole in it. Like my boyfriend had to be like, I'm getting you new shoes. Why does your shoes have a hole in it? And I'm like, they're still fine. They still work. You know, even my car. You know, I drive a beat up Honda. Like, I don't play that. The car doesn't match the aesthetic. I know.
And it's okay.
You know, and I tried the whole luxury vehicle thing and I was like, you know, I'm good.
The amount of money you will pay trying to fix that thing, it's not worth it.
So I was like, I'm such a like creature of habit and a budgeter. Yeah. And I lived in the same apartment for the past 7 years. I don't like change. I don't like unpredictability. Yeah. So when it comes to my books and my finances, my dental office, I wasn't doing as good of a job as I should have.
Okay.
So, but I know how to save a buck. So I'll be looking at my team that my assistant will go grab something and take. I said, don't take off your glove. Just call someone on the radio.
No, I know, right?
You know, like stop with the glove.
Yeah.
Or like with the bond, you know, I had a temp assistant. She put 2 drops. I said, this is one filling. No. Why are you putting 2 drops of bond?
And the bond thing, they taught me that in dental school because they were like, this is $100 bottle.
Yeah. No, the bond is $400. So, and for those who don't know, bond, the bottle is literally like this big.
Un poquito.
So you put like half a drop.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
That's enough.
That's more than enough.
It's more than enough. So I'm like, I'm like, one drop.
Like I get assistants squeeze it. It's overflowing in the well. Yes. That's like at least 10 drops. Yes. And I'm like, girl.
Yeah. So, touching on the overhead, like knowing the numbers, I think it can be so scary. Yes. And I had to find a system to review my numbers and know. And I think I learned this from one of my coaches, like, you cannot know your numbers. If I ask you how many new patients you had last month, you should know that number off the top of your head.
You should.
If I ask you what was your overhead percentage last month, you should know that number off the top of your head. You have to know your numbers.
You have to.
Where everything is going. So I remember even starting out, which is another tip, you do not need that CBCT. So, and for the listeners, a CBCT is a 3D X-ray machine that literally costs $80 to $100K. But what is the point in getting a CBCT machine if you have no implant patients and no patients? So everything you do is almost like a shoe. Mm-hmm. You have to fit into the shoe. Before you buy that shoe, you better make sure it fits. So if you're not doing 2 or 3 implants a month, you do not need a CBCT.
You don't need it.
You can outsource it. Link up with a specialty office. Yep. Ask them, hey, how much do you charge for CBCT? Can I send my patients to you? And you send it back. That's a hack. To this day, I still don't have a CBCT.
Yeah.
I refer out and it saves me $5K a month in a loan note. You don't need a scan. I was packing cord.
Sometimes you just have to pack cord even with the scanner.
Yeah. But I was packing cord for like the first 2 years because until I felt like we were doing at least 10 pounds a month.
Yeah.
And I had my own goals. I know that's not a lot.
No, but when you're just starting and
you have no patience.
Yeah.
So you actually, and I'm not going to call it old school dentistry, but there are some ways and cost effective things that you should kind of shift towards.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. I was taking impressions. It's annoying. I was packing cord. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, until that machine can pay for itself and it makes sense within the budget and the revenue is there, I'm not taking on. And, I can't tell you how many sales reps, to this day. First of all, you a sales rep, don't come in my door for lunch.
Girl,
don't come without lunch.
My staff already knows. They don't even bother us. Once I see someone in a suit, I run to the back because they'll try to come and do like those Chick-fil-A lunch and learns and bring the sandwich. I'm like, I'm not interested.
Oh, you do Chick-fil-A?
Well, no, I remember once she would bring like the actual, like they have like these deli sandwiches from Chick-fil-A.
I do Catch.
Period.
You gonna take us to Catch? I'm just joking. But he did take me to Catch.
Oh, I'll do that. But not.
Yeah,
because honestly, you're wasting my time.
Yeah, I did buy from him though.
Yeah,
but he took me to a very nice dinner.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we all went as a group, as a staff. It was very nice
because those companies, they have money. The way that they're charging, and like I want to give some clarity is that when we're talking about our machines that cost $60,000 upwards. Mm-hmm. So what does it look like to buy an expensive machine when you're not doing enough of the procedures to justify that? So who ends up eating the cost? Because now your overhead is getting higher. Mm-hmm. You got to increase those prices. So that's also a big thing about stewarding your business well, so that you can give patients fair prices and help them out when you need to.
Yeah, you don't have to and I think when your overhead is low, there's not that pressure. There's not that gorilla on your back. You don't feel the need to push for certain things. Yeah. And okay, I need to add this. I need to hit this. I started out, we had one front desk, one assistant. Yep. That was it. And we worked out of 2 rooms and we did what we had to do. And now.
And you were doing hygiene, weren't you? Girl, because some of these new dentists, they don't want to do hygiene. And
I did my own.
Listen, do you know how much it costs to hire a hygienist?
And even sometimes hygienists will come in and I told them this, I just got a part-time hygienist last year, early last year. And they're like, you were doing your own hygiene. First of all, do you even know, you don't even know what you're talking about.
And they're paid very well. I think their prices increased around COVID time, as they should. They are a revenue generator, but if you're just opening up new practice, you can't afford the hygienist. You cannot afford
And I think a lot of times people forget, being in network, that plays a part. Yeah. So the wage, I think I was doing research and I saw a video. It was the average wage in 2020 was $35 an hour. It's $55, $60. But the issue comes in, which of course they absolutely should be making more, but it goes into Profi fee. It's $69.
So insurance reimbursement is in the trash.
So you just have to be careful, which I think another thing that people should do is a TPA, which is a third party affiliate, a contract for your insurance. You should not be in direct contract as private private offices, you should not be in direct contract with insurance. So you should be under an umbrella like Connection, Carrington, Zealous, those things. Like, it's really important. So your fee schedule is really important.
Yeah.
Being in direct contract, I don't know if anyone could survive off that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another tidbit, which is negotiating your fees and using a company. I think I use PPO Profits. There's Me Too Dental. There's so many, but that initial money, which is an investment, but it's so worth it.
As you stand right now with your office and the brand that you're building, what is something that you are most proud of that you've accomplished so far?
I would say my office, which is doing so well. And I'm so proud of the team. Like, my team, everyone's pretty much under like 25. A lot of people don't know that. So I would say I'm proud of my retention. I'm proud of the family that we built, the culture we built.
Advice to people who are working with Gen Z, especially for our young female dentists who look young in the face.
Yeah.
You're already starting off at a disadvantage of people thinking like y'all are girls. I'm sure you've had that where someone shows up and thinks y'all are besties. And it's like, no, I'm your boss. You know, talk a little bit about how you've managed to do that.
So how have I managed it? I think it starts with office culture.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it starts with office culture. Sorry, I'm laughing because they're funny. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think knowing how to hire.
Yeah.
Knowing how, there's certain characteristics and things I look for. But as far as like getting the staff to like respect me, they just see how I move and how I hustle.
Yes.
The positivity, like I always tell my team, like they never know when I'm having a bad day. I could be having the worst day ever. I always come in with a smile. And so I think creating that office culture where, you know, we have a slogan. It is a positive, peaceful work environment.
Yeah.
It is positive and peaceful.
Yes.
And you know, I always tell people this when I bring someone on.
I love this, by the way. I love this.
Listen, literally, I sit them down. We do onboarding. We do the interview. We do onboarding, all that. And at the end, I'm like, hey, so if you had a cake and you've been baking this cake for like 10 years, same ingredients every single time.
Yes.
And it comes out exactly how you want it. And then one day you're like, hey, you know what? I want to add nutmeg or something. I don't know. You just want to add a random ingredient and you taste the cake and you're like, this does not taste good. I'm like, okay, what would you do? They're like, well, obviously I'll stop using that ingredient. I said, good.
Ding, ding, ding.
Good. You got the right answer. So I'm like, good. So I always say that to say, I bring you on. I don't have any drama. It is very peaceful in here. The air is clean. It smells like eucalyptus when you come into my office.
Oh, I like that.
We are so chill and everyone's so happy in one big happy family. If I even smell an ounce of drama, if someone even comes to me like, and there's the vibe is off, it's negative, or like there's any type of drama, like such and such, that if I even hear anything of that nature, I don't even care who did it.
I hear.
I don't even care if it's even unrelatable to you. You're out of there. Okay? Like, I hire slow and fire quick. You are out of.
Yeah.
If I even hear Pim, don't let me hear Pim. Okay? Or you are out of there. And I tell them, they're like, okay. I'm like, I'm not kidding. If I get any type of drama, you are gone because I've been doing this for X amount of years and everything has been good. And you are the new factor. So you gotta go.
Yep. It's setting that standard.
Yes. I do not play about my working. You know, because there's nothing worse than pulling up to your office parking lot and your heart drops.
Yes.
So this is my office. My heart is not, my stomach's not dropping.
Why am I suffering? You
get what I'm saying? You know, so.
And the patients feel it. The patients feel it when the negativity is in the air. I love what you said about, you know, your staff doesn't know when you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
That was something. For me, I was a terrible leader, like a legit terrible leader. I did not know how to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
I didn't want to annoy anybody. I remember one time I told my assistants like, oh, I'll just use the dry shield. The dry shield is like a device that you use. You probably had it used if you went to the dental office where essentially you could do dentistry with just one person.
Yeah.
But if I'm paying you, why are you in the back kikiing while I'm with the patient? Like, you need to be over there. But it's because I was like, I'm fine. Like, you know, when you're in dental school, you work by yourself. So I was like, I'm fine. I was saying that so you can go and bring in other patients, but they were just kikiing in the back.
Yeah.
And it's like, I struggled to hold people accountable until the point where I got so upset and then my emotions were always on my face.
Yeah.
If I was upset, everybody knew about it. I complained a lot. And I remember when I started working with my now business partner and she brought me into the office and I'm thinking like, everyone loves me. Like I kiki with everybody. And she's just like, girl, like, no, you're doing a lot. like the staff is scared of you. Patients, are feeling your negative energy. That was such a shock. But it's like, funny enough, my office manager said, and this is why it's so important to be able to learn from anybody and humble yourself. And she literally was like, listen, you're a leader. If you're upset, you take that home. When you show up here, it is all smiles. It is positivity. It doesn't matter what.
It's go time because they feed off of it.
And the reality is, and this is going to sound harsh, but like people don't care.
They don't.
Especially when you are in leadership and they think that you're making millions of dollars and you have an amazing life. They're not going to sympathize with you. And that's just reality. And it's not necessarily, it's just human nature. Even your patients. If I show up and I'm like, angry at the world, and I show up to a patient who is already stressed out, they're already anxious, and I put that on them, they're not coming back.
No.
They don't care that, you just had a flat, or that you're having family issues. Nobody cares, because they're coming there for your help. So it's up to you to do what you got to do. Have your community, have your peer system, which I say is the people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, that you can vent to. Vent. What do I say? I always say vent horizontally. Or upwards. Don't vent to people who are subordinate to you. Bad idea.
And I think, and even touching on what you're saying, that's such a good point. Like, at the end of the day, it costs to be the boss. Like, you don't really have room for that. Like, there's times where I'd be in my office, like, if something happened, I cry a little bit. Listen, I cry. I wipe my tears. And sometimes my staff can tell, like, something wrong. I'm like, no, I'm fine.
No.
But I say my staff member knows I have a bad day because I expect the same out of them. Granted, things happen. And, if I expect it, you have to show up with a positive attitude. And when they see it from me, they also are more inclined to, like, go and do those things.
And they see this really, you're sacrificing. A good leader sacrifices for their team. And I think, the good staff, they're perceptive to see like, I can see maybe your energy might not be as high, and they step in, but those people are pretty rare. And I'm sure even for you, if your staff member is having a bad day, it's nothing for them to be like, hey, like, I need a moment. Let me get myself together. But at the end of the day, when we're in front of these patients, they are relying on us to have a good attitude and to help them through what's probably something they've been dreading for weeks.
And you have to work through it.
You just have to.
And I think another thing, just touching on staff, of how, like, my staff knows nothing about me. I do not eat lunch with my staff. I do not, they listen, even if I take a trip, I'm like, WhatsApp me if you need me. And that's as far as it goes. They don't tell me where they go when they request PTO. I don't tell, I keep a very, very definitive line. That doesn't mean I don't love them. That doesn't mean I don't care about them. We truly love each other and care about them, but they know, my boundary. I keep a very, very tight boundary because I feel like familiarity breeds disrespect. So, I think it does. I think there was one time, like, I had a new girl, a new receptionist, and I went on a trip, and I was looking at my stories, and the view said North Dallas Smile. I said, I screenshot, and I said, Ariana, what are you doing here? And my team were like, I came back, and I was like, who was on my story? And they were like, we told her not to do that. We told her, doctor doesn't like that. You can't do that. And she was like, well, she was put in PTO. She's gone. I wanted to know. And so they're so cute. She's like my 19-year-old receptionist. She's so cute. And she didn't know the golden rule. And they were like,
wait, what's the golden rule?
Don't look me up. I have them all blocked.
That's hilarious.
I love them to death.
That's hilarious.
I love myself. Like, if they ever leave me, I'm gonna cry.
But
they already know I don't play that. I think those times you just have to do WhatsApp stories. I was looking at, I said, I blocked them so fast from my story. They're like, doctor, like, why?
And I'm sure you give them that same respect. If someone's putting in PTO, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. And I think that's going to be really helpful for that young dentist to recognize that, like, there is a boundary when it comes to professionalism with your patients. When it comes to your patients, you show them your love, you show them your care, you show them your best self, but you're not sitting there, going through like, oh, this is what I did this weekend. And like, oh, look at my family pictures.
Close in age.
We're just too close. Because some people will be like, well, no, I can talk to my patients and I can talk to my staff and we hang out and they come up to my house.
We're women.
But exactly.
We're women and we're young.
Exactly.
You know, we're women and we're young.
It's already, we're talking about people who already are recognizing that, hey, I'm at a disadvantage being a young, especially young Black female, where my staff, I'm struggling to get them to respect me. These are some of the things. It's like, how do you carry yourself? Are you out here, being ratchet on social media and now they're watching it? And then you're expecting people to take you seriously. Like, let's be real. Back in the day, they didn't have social media.
No.
There's a reason that your staff calls you doctor.
Yep.
You know, and I'm sure, you know, like, you know, there are some doctors who are older, male, you know, and they will be like, oh, call me Jim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that when you're young, because already the patients sometimes struggle to accept that. Okay, are you qualified?
Especially when you're young and cute.
Exactly.
So those are some things that I do. And then also, I think making them a part of the practice through a bonus structure.
Yeah.
So I tell them, like, if the practice does well, you do well.
Yeah.
So my staff, they get a big bonus at the end of the month.
I think that's why it's so important for women to get into business ownership, because then we're able to create those workspaces that we talk about wanting to be a part of. Yeah. Like, one of the things I'll say, but for my business partner, she was a working mom when she was first starting, and it was very difficult. Yeah. And so she always said that she's like, I want to create a safe space for women who have just had kids. So, like, you know, if you're a nursing mom, hey, if we block out time. Yeah. If you got to go, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. You have time, go use the office, whatever it takes. And it's hard. It's hard. We're a busy office. Yeah. But I remember her saying that, and I was like, this is why it's so important for women to be in leadership, because we know what has been lacking. We know what we need. And the only way we're going to be able to provide that is if we're in those positions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have a couple of questions from the listeners, and I'm really excited for you to kind of give us your insight. I asked on my Instagram if anyone had any questions, and we got a couple of them. So this was actually a voice memo that I got. And basically she said, Cynthia, I just started the podcast and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Thank you so much. I listened to your intro and I'm almost done with choosing the partners episode. Thank you for creating this space and giving girls real wisdom, because we need it. She then talks about how she is currently in practice with her father, which she loves, but she's navigating leadership for the first time. So her question was, how do you get your team to actually listen to you? How do you build a team that respects your leadership? And what should you even be asking when you're hiring? So a lot of this we already talked about. Yeah. But if there's maybe one special thing that you want her to take away from this whole conversation, what would it be?
If they don't listen to you and it's the hardest thing, it's almost like you got to peel the layers back, get rid of whoever's not.
Yes.
If they don't, you have to instill punishment. Hey, I said this. If you can't do it, you have to go. I've sent people home.
Yeah.
I've sent assistants home, and I worked alone.
Yeah.
You know, no one stops the show but the Lord.
Okay.
Nobody. Yeah. So if I have a piece of advice, is to definitely make sure, if your dad is still there working with you, that he instills and make sure, like, hey, Dr. such and such said this needs to happen. Like, your partner, your father is backing you up on everything that you're saying. And also, like, move towards like cutting hours and different things. Like, it's your space, it's your business. Yeah. So if they're not respecting that, and that's the hardest thing as women, it's like, oh my gosh, how do I get rid? Are they going to? No, whoever's supposed to be there is going to help your vision. If they're not helping your vision, they cannot be there.
They can't be there.
They can't. If they're not going to, I don't care if they've been there for 30 years. If you're not going to be with it, I'm going to find something new. Yep. And when you are looking at new applicants, just a tidbit to answer, like how I hire people, you really want to look at people who have been loyal. Like, if I look at a resume and you've been hopping from place to place, no. The tone, how they talk. The phone, when you meet with them in person, how do they describe their personality? Yeah. You know what I mean? I ask key questions of, like, what's been a tough situation with a coworker that you had to navigate? How did you navigate that? You want people who have been in offices for 2, 3, 4 years, because it shows a level of, like, hey, I like continuity, or if that's a word, continuity. I like stability. I like, repetition. I like a good home. Yeah. So those are things I look for. But honestly, I fire quickly and I hire slow. Yeah. And, I have that same issue, especially with older staff. If you're not with it, you gotta go. Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Okay. The next one, building the financial foundation for your practice. What does that look like?
Saving. I think building the financial structure for your practice is a life skill, because you can take it with you through life. But I think just managing your overhead. So being minimal, you know, like watching your rent, watching what you're spending things on, like making sure, because the banks are going to ask for 2 to 3 years of tax returns. So no major purchases, nothing to affect your credit, but just really, really saving so that when you start your practice, you have something to work off of and you're not like in the red, essentially. Sorry, did that help?
No, that's good. That's really good. I think that's really good information. I think one of the key things that you've talked about is knowing where your money is and budgeting. I keep saying this over and over again. We can't fall into this idea that as women, I'm not good with numbers. I'm not good with money. You need to know. And you can't outsource that. Like, yes, you can have an accountant. Yes, you can have whatever, but you have to know what it is.
You have to be in the know.
Exactly. Like even when we were talking, this just reminded me of when we were talking about how much you purchased your practice for someone that might not have context. Some people, when they're opening up, it could be a $1 million $1 million investment. Like a lot of times, especially if it's an established practice where they have patients, you're buying the patients as well. It's $1 million essentially. So now compare that between $1 million, 70,000 sounds like a lot. $1 million sounds insanely a lot. So you need to also know what are normal or healthy ranges for your practice. And even if you're just an associate, this is a good opportunity for you to start asking questions and be curious. Talk to the office manager.
Oh my God, that's such a good advice. That's such good advice. When I was
an associate, I would ask questions about insurance all the time because I just wanted to understand what does reimbursement look like?
And what does that even mean?
What does it mean?
Be nosy.
Yes.
I mean, I was all up in those that practice budget.
And you should know that before you open up a practice, you should know the job of every single person working in that office. But at least know what they should be doing. That way you're also able to educate and hire and know what's going on, what needs to stay and what maybe needs to go.
And to be transparent, even the 70,000, that was just to buy the product, to get everything, the equipment, everything else. It was still very reasonable. I think I spent like
400,000. That's
but amazing. If you look at my office, people will think they're like,
your office is beautiful. It takes it's not sexy. That's not the sexy part where you're going through it. But if it's like, if you're gonna make the decision to go there, you have to understand. I had a different route when it comes to ownership, that I partnered with somebody. It took a while, like for me to decide, because I had already worked there for about a year. And it took a while of me looking at the numbers, looking at the finances, understanding how the office worked. I would say my due diligence was over a year because that's how long I had. Is it over a year? No, it's like a year and a half. I worked there for about a year and a half. So that was my due diligence. You can't just make a decision, you can't just make a decision of like, okay, I'm going to go do this without knowing and asking questions and figuring out, how to do this. Now, next question. So this one said, is oil pulling worth the hype? No. To me, it's like, why bother?
What is that? I've never really seen.
You never heard of oil pulling?
I've heard of it. I just don't even know.
So you basically it's like Ayurvedic oral health. Basically, you put coconut oil in your mouth and you swish it around for like 20 minutes. And they believe that it removes bacteria. Here's the thing though. You have to mechanically remove bacteria. There's something called biofilm. That thing sticks on there. Okay. If it was just easy to switch something around, we wouldn't be in business.
I blame TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, people have been doing it for a while. Here's my thing. You can oil pull if you really enjoy it. Do it, but also make sure you're brushing.
I can't believe people switch around for 20 minutes.
Yes, girl, for 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Oil.
Wow.
It's like getting people do it.
Okay, I'm new.
Here, I'll give maybe what you could do is you can use the oil, put it on a toothbrush and then do that. Because at least we're still getting that mechanical removal of bacteria. What's the biggest key in balancing it all for you?
The Lord.
Amen.
It's the biggest key. If you don't open a business, you better be praying. You better be praying. You better be on your
business
knees.
Is a spiritual endeavor.
Yeah, you better have Jesus by your side, talking to Jesus every single day, talking to the Lord every day, because there are some days I wake up and I'm like, Lord, I don't know. There ain't nothing on the schedule. There's some time, especially in the beginning, it's like, there's nothing. Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But I need you.
And then that one patient walks in and they love you, they trust you, and they want you to help them with their smile. And now it's like, wow, God, like you're bringing in the people.
Starting a business without God,
I don't know how people do it.
Like, that's actually, I don't. My prayers to you,
because
I don't know how you can and not lose your mind. That's what keeps you grounded. I wake up every day. I pray. I pray for my business. I pray over myself. I pray over just everything in this life because life is so fleeting. And I know that's, we can go off on that. That's a serious topic. But I tell people, you need to get to know the Lord. If you're going to do a business, you better know the Lord.
Yes.
Like, are you mad? Like,
you get crazy?
Are you crazy?
Like, no, literally. Like, one thing, my husband and I will get on the phone and we'll pray before the day. And I remember I started praying. I was like, God, please send the people who need our help and give them the resources and then also give us the ability to do right by them and then also give us the resources to be able to help them, because it's more than just wanting patience. And we didn't even really I feel like we have to do this again because there's so many other things I want to talk about. But, even dealing with difficult patients, that part is so hard.
Yes.
My first couple of years out of dental school felt like hell on earth. It was until maybe like year 3, 4, because I'm on year 5 now. No, I would say honestly beginning of year 4, where I finally started to find joy again in dentistry. It's so difficult dealing with patients that already they don't want to be there. They're scared. It's the stuff. They're already like, how much is this going to cost? Am I going to be in any pain?
Yeah.
And now you, especially for a new grad, where all you know is, okay, in the textbook, it says, if this is there, then they need this, and this. And so you're going and you're rambling. So you need a root canal, you need a crown, you need dentures, you need this, you need that, you need that. And they're looking at you like, I'm a human being.
I think that's where people go wrong. Yes. So 2 things I didn't even touch on, which is really important. Number 1, most of the time it's not personal. It has nothing to do with you.
Yes.
And, I always tell myself, whatever happened at the office, which I do my best. I'm human. Sometimes I still carry it with me.
Yeah.
Or I'll vent, and things like that. But whatever happens, it stays at the office. Like when people are like, there's cloud, you can do your chart notes at home. No. I don't have any apps on my phone that's related to the office or anything. Of course, I have an emergency line, but I leave everything at the door. I leave everything. We're blessed and fortunate to be able to do that. But I literally leave it at the office and I'm at home and I'm present. And having that boundary is what kind of keeps it healthy. B, I think a lot of people don't understand dentistry is 90% soft skills, 10% dentistry.
Yep.
It's your soft skills, your people skills, understanding people.
Yep.
So even when I have someone come into my office, like the first thing is I don't even talk to them about dentistry. We have a genuine conversation because I want to understand you.
Yeah.
I want to understand you as a human. I want to understand why you're here. What can I do to help you? The soft skills and also understanding like, hey, $1 is $1 and $1 is hard to make in America. Okay. There's not a dollar here that's unearned.
Yep.
When people are really out here working.
Yep.
So keeping in mind, like, you don't want to do the crown or you don't want to it's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is it money? Is it this? Is that? How can I help? Like, you have a servant attitude. As a dentist, as an owner, you are a servant. You're there to serve.
Yeah.
Don't lose sight of that. So always pray like, God, don't harden my heart. And yes, you run into people who like will really try you.
Yep.
But it's like, you know what? Okay. Like sometimes we get a bad review and my staff's like typing. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, what are you writing? No.
Yeah.
We thank them for coming.
Yep.
We apologize. Like this didn't work out for you. And, we wish you all the best. And please let us know if there's anything we can do to help.
Yeah.
And I'll even call. Sometimes when I get bad reviews, I'll call.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, like, I'm not even calling to be upset with XYZ. Hey, what happened? I'm genuinely confused.
Yes.
Our office dropped the ball. What can I do to make this right?
Yeah. And people appreciate that because they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
They're just frustrated and they want to be heard.
We have 1,000 reviews on Google.
Okay.
And we have a 5-star rating and people be like, I had to come see if this is 5-star. I don't play about customer service.
Yeah. I love it. You're so inspirational to me. Okay. So I know we've been chit-chatting for forever and I definitely I'm going to bring you back on again because I feel like after this, so many people are going to have so many questions.
Yeah.
But quickly, we do Minding My Business, which is basically where we give advice. It's rapid fire on wealth, wellness, and womanhood.
Okay.
So are you ready?
No.
But you're going to have to get ready because we're going.
No problem.
Okay. So, what is one money move every woman listening should be making in the next 30 days?
Oh my gosh. Stock portfolio. Make sure you're investing in
stock portfolio. Yes. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you also invest in real estate, right?
Yes.
Wellness. What is an undefeated wellness hack that helps you prevent burnout?
Moving your body and working out at least. I work out at least 4 to 6 times a week. But just moving your body, going for a walk, turn off your phone, like Pilates and yoga and Legree, like for any dentist, it's a must.
It is. It is. Your back.
The back and neck, it's a must.
Okay, womanhood. What do you know about being a woman in business you wish someone told you sooner?
They say you can't have it all, but you can.
You just can't have it all at the same time.
Yep.
Love that. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Dare I say, was this my favorite episode? I don't know if I can say.
It was my favorite.
No, it really was. It really was. This is what I needed. Yeah. Like, this conversation is what I needed like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for just sharing your knowledge.
You're welcome.
So tell the people where they can find you, where your social media, where your office is. Really, the floor is yours. Let the people know how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah. So Dr. Ezi on TikTok, North Dallas Smiles. We're located in North Dallas. And yeah, we're open 5 days a week.
Nice.
Instagram's also North Dallas Smiles. You can book online if you Google us, and we have free consults. So just come on in and we'll take care of you.
And y'all do all the things, right?
We do everything. We keep everything in house. Implant, surgery. So
I love
anything that you need. Like we have surgeons who come in. Like we keep everything in house.
One of the people who comes over, Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
I know. I love him.
And that's why, again, community is so important, because Dr. Ken was the person who sat with me, on the phone for an hour, helping me decide what office I was going to go to after I sought my first job.
Yeah.
So just that community. And the community is very small.
It's very small.
The dental community where
very
you live is very, so treat people well so that they speak highly of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love this. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And thank you guys for listening to another episode of Wealth, Wellness, and Womanhood. If you like this episode, please reach out, DM us, comment. We'd love to see it. Tell us what resonated with you on this episode. And then you can also find us on Wealth, Wellness, and Womanhood on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. This episode will be available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the things. We also have a Substack. So please join the party. We also have a newsletter. We got everything. Just look in the show notes and you will see all of the links. So just click on one of them. You'll find me somewhere. But again, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I had sitting here and talking to the lovely Dr. Ezi. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.